You know, the funny thing is, even if you don't like this movie, you can't deny the title is spot on. Love is a bitch. Amores Perros. In my opinion, it's really good. The story follows the lives of three characters whose lives collide in a car accident. Octavia wants his brother's wife and gets involved in dogfighting to acquire runaway cash. Valeria, a supermodel, starts a life with Daniel, a magazine publisher, who left his family to be with her. And El Chivo, a professional hitman with a heavy past, tries to reunite with his daughter, who thinks he is dead. All of these stories deal with love, loss, and regret, and while the car accident is the core connective tissue, the dogs each person has is a more constant connection. Octavia uses his to make a profit, while Valeria's is more of a way to test her shameful relationship, and El Chivo's is a replacement for his human family. The most engaging story for me was the first one. I'm against dogfighting, but it was well portrayed, and the characters weren't afraid to take chances. The movie also just as a whole feels very real. I love that we're not told who to like, and the ending isn't some BS Hollywood cliche ending that's just tacked on to generate smiling faces. This is honest storytelling. I also immensely enjoyed the performances, and this goes for every story. This is one of those films where the acting doesn't feel like acting. Props must also be given to Rodrigo Prieto, the cinematographer, as I forgot the camera existed. And that's a hard thing to pull off. Where I think the film could have improved is the pacing and the third story. El Chivo is an interesting character, at least I think so, but I think it would have worked better if he had been hired to kill an already established character, because bringing in 3 more characters into your story when you have an hour left really isn't the smartest idea. And on top of that, the brothers' quarrel, whatever it was, I just didn't care about it, like at all. It just didn't interest me. Concerning the pacing, the first and third stories both clock in at about an hour long, while the second story clocks in at about a half an hour long. But even with the first and third stories clocking in at about the same time, the third story is much slower. And I feel personally that if they had condensed the third story into a half an hour, it would have been much better. And then so we would have gotten a really great 2-hour film, rather than a really good 2.5-hour film. Overall though, for a first feature film, this was a very ambitious project, and I admire Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu for being bold. I give Amores Perros 3.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you very much for your time. Have an awesome day.